Now, one of my favorite movies is the Muppet movie.
Okay, that's a good movie.
The Muppets is a movie based on true events.
That's not right.
The life and struggle of a frog named Kermit.
Kermit.
Who is quoted saying, "It ain't easy being green."
Okay, that's right.
But he later finds out life ain't hard because he's green. Life's hard because he's a frog trying to fuck a pig.
Wow.
That gotta be difficult.
Now this is Cookie Monster. What a creature. What a lust. It consumes him. He's really a tragic figure.
One time I saw an analysis of the Muppets, and they said that Kermit was an upwardly mobile, light-skinned black man. And I don't know why I resonated with that so hard, but I've never been able to unsee it. Maybe it's because, maybe it's because, Jim Henson is from Maryland, and it's just like, I just really see myself in their energy. So maybe outside of it just being like, oh my God, I love puppets, it have like a certain kind of like Baltimore business-minded archetype that like I deeply resonate with, like the way that they kind of work together and talk to each other. It really feels like home in that respect. And that was one of the other things that if I'm not too disgraced to go back to Maryland one day, I wouldn't mind going to Muppet school, because that's where the Muppet College is. I actually got an opportunity to start volunteering for the local theater as a puppeteer before I left, and so that's just on the list. Kermit was an upwardly mobile, light skin. So I'm giving myself this little, it's on the other fucking side, this little 10-minute walk to just kind of further flesh out my thoughts on the Muppets. Sometimes I click that 1 minute and I'm like, nah, this needs room to breathe. But like, specifically like the work-life balance dynamics in Baltimore, and how I kind of see it reflected in the Muppets' personal and business relationships. And I'm thinking of Muppets in Space, which is my favorite Muppet movie. If you've seen it, it feels like obvious reasons, right? But it starts off with them in this big ass house where all the fucking Muppets live together, and it's something that about the Baltimore mentality where it'll be like like a 40-person anti-cap socialist organization, non-sexual, queer, platonic, semi-sexual, polycule, and and Monster can't hold a job down due to his aggressive tendencies, so he pays for his rent split in doing lawn care and setting up the basement shows, like and it's like there is like this sense of like family and workplace structure like being one thing, about this like communal sense of like, if we're able to live together, we'll be better able to work together. But as you can see, it's like very chaotic, and so I kind of like see embodied in that kind of sense of Baltimore community in extreme chaos, but like it's a controlled chaos and it's a supportive chaos that allows people to kind of show up as their best selves. And you always, they they don't hold back from each other, but it's like, oh, excuse me, but they like try to keep it as cute as possible. So you see someone like the way that like the Muppets sneak diss each other it's for the purpose of like maintaining the sense of community that they have, right? So if Kermit thinks that Gonzo is fucking losing his mind, he'll like entertain it because he knows that to like challenge it would challenge Gonzo's ability to show up as his zany self in other aspects. Like, there's a sense of what might seem like enabling people, but there's always like an element of truth that kind of like comes through with their humor and tone. And I think that's also the energy of, you know, having a friend group that is largely creators, which has always kind of been my niche, fortunately, unfortunately. Before I started being a psychic and shit, I did a lot of spoken word poetry on the scene. And then when I did start my tarot business in person in Baltimore, I was selling crystals and doing readings at like queer markets and stuff, women focused markets and stuff. Like I did one in Lexington Market, which was really cool. But when it comes to like that dynamic of like, all right, so we all frequent the same spaces and work, right? So for me to like openly and without restraint diss motherfuckers on a regular basis on this platform, right? It's funny because like I would then see their partners and co-op members and their co-workers and stuff at the market, and where they were seeing this to me too. And even now I have some mutuals on here that are like, I know they're mutuals with some of my like situational ship thingies, and it's like this interesting dynamic where it's like there is beef. There's big beef. Everyone knows there's beef, but there's also like 5 places that all the gay people go. So it's like you're gonna run into someone who knows someone or something that did something or something like that. And so I think, and they call it Smaltimore, right? So there's this energy of like understanding that there's chaos, and I feel like just a Baltimore mentality is where pretty like if you're from a more like a reserved place or a culture that prioritizes civility, Baltimore will seem mad aggressive. But it's because we just like to solve shit. It's like, we ain't about to do that fake shit. But like if you're from a society that's used to more aggression, Baltimoreans seem like they're fake or petty, because when we handle aggression, before we let it pop all the way off, we tell you about yourself. And it's more of an invitation or an acknowledgement. It's like how it's like how Tree has to do what? It's like how Tree has to do a land acknowledgement before we eat a sandwich at Wendy's. There's like a beef acknowledgement of like, oh yeah, how have you been? Like, so it's like the conflict is present, but it doesn't necessarily have to explode every time, because we can't afford to burn but so many bridges. I saw another creator talk about how every lesbian knows each other. It's very real. Like there's only but so many queer people in the world, and then even fewer of them are on social media. And as much as we like to think that the social media landscape is like this huge place. It's a very small environment. If you really sit down and you think about the number of people who create content on a regular basis, it's not that many people who continue to show up. And so after a while, it's like, okay, this is the community that we exist in too. So it really becomes a question of like, how much beef is appropriate in this situation, right? Like like, you know, if you want to have a little cheesesteak for everything, no hots. That's real. But at a certain point, you just can't act any kind of way, because true aggression that's not grounded from a place of understanding that you have to share community together, it kind of amounts to this different kind of ostracization where people fear that through the grapevine that you're not going to be able to hold space for them, or that you might destruct systems that they need to live, thrive, love, and feel safe. And so basically it's how the Muppets choose their battles and manage conflict with humor for me. I'm so poor at this time. Gotta add at this time, you know? Manifesting.
Big Bird, Sesame, Big Mean Energy.
The folks who think I am blonde because I want to be, you know, a different race are poorly mistaken. I'm blonde because I want to be Miss Piggy. I want to be serving USDA grade A pork realness every day, and I'm one step closer. I kind of want to do a roll call for all of like the slim thick weirdos who are like unwilling to admit that we're like low-key married. We're kind of married, you know, and it's not like one either, because it's like one of those things where it's like the Muppet Show where like they're starting to date another pig and she's clearly not as auntie as I am, you know what I mean? And the whole crowd is like, why is he doing that? And it's because he's a weird little frog, man. And it's, I don't know, man. It's a few of them. And they're like suffering. Unclear reasons, but I will karate chop somebody for them, even though they suck. So, always taking more applications too, because none of them are committed to me. People are like, oh, inside me there's two wolves. Nah, I got these guys.
Said that's not cheating if I wasn't with your ass, yo. You kept secrets and your cousin told me that. So logical thinking is just something that you lack. So what you even meant for? Looking like a stick up in your asshole. I'm not your mommy, nigga. Find a new hobby, nigga. Return your phone, get picked up. Your shit's in the lobby, nigga. I'm not gonna kill your car. I'll call your fucking mom. You should've paid my rent. Go get a fucking job.
Question about my seatbelt. I think it's just a guitar strap connected to nothing.
Everything's connected to something if you think about it.
Okay, anniversary, huh? How long have you two been together?
Oh, wow, together implies we're not two independent spiritual beings. I'm not anyone's lady. I'm not even my own lady. I wouldn't do that to myself.
Whoa, what the heck is this? I shut down my Tinder for you.
I really vibe with Miss Piggy because I'm also a blonde bombshell that's like being puppeteered by a weird dude. It's giving famous situationships with like a random little skinny dude with control issues. It's giving fashion. It's giving horror.
What's your 5-year plan? What's that mean, 5-year plan?
Like your 5-year plan, like what are you going to be doing in the next 5 years? Do you have a
What's
plan?
someone doing in the next 5 years?
Yeah, you need to have a plan. You need to have a 5-year plan.
Emma doesn't really know what he's going to do in the next 5 hours.
Okay, you're an Aquarius.
Huh?
You're an Aquarius.
Is that like a force?
This is my impression of Rocco every single time it is in the same vicinity as Elmo.